Hi, I'm Katrina Wilson, and I am running for school board member District 1. I've been a lifelong educator for more than 30 years, and I have served in Miami-Dade County Public Schools for almost 40 years. I think that I have a depth of knowledge about education and an experience that has allowed me to understand many, many details from the very, very lowest of the low to the very, very highest of the high. Education is the gateway to the future. I think it allows you to dream. Our children are the single most important thing to the future of our city, the future of our country. The more we give to them, the more we impart into them, the stronger we are. My top priority would be to stay in line with where we're headed. I would ensure transparency of the use of taxpayers' dollars through being just that, transparent. The one thing I learned about being a principal is that I always was available to my parents, even in the toughest of times. Voters should choose Katrina Wilson to represent them on Miami-Dade County Public School Board. One, because I'm a product of Miami-Dade County Public School Board. Two, I began at the age of 18 in Miami-Dade School Board as a clerk, and I worked my way up and through. I have had successes with children, and I have been able to take the least of kids and make them the best of kids. I can see their futures. I see their futures in the eyes, not only of the child, but I see it in the eyes of the parent. And it is a wonderful, wonderful thing to work with, to believe with, and to achieve with the parent, the teacher, and the child. That's why voters should vote for me.
Every drop has a purpose. It nurtures more than just our gardens. Protect what connects us. Conserve what sustains us. Because water is life.
Plastic bags don't go in the recycling. It's Recycle Right, the game where we find out what's recyclable and what's garbage. Ready to play? Go! So many items we toss daily like cardboard, cans, cartons, glass, and plastic bottles can actually be recycled in our curbside collection program for a cleaner community. The rest is garbage, like your Uncle's aim. When you recycle right, we all win. Take your victory lap.
Hi, I'm Katrina Wilson, and I am running for school board member, District 1. I've been a lifelong educator for more than 30 years, and I have served in Miami-Dade County Public Schools for almost 40 years. I think that I have a depth of knowledge about education and an experience. Education is the gateway to the future. I think it allows you to dream.
What does Miami Gardens mean to me? Home. Miami Gardens is home. I remember riding on the back of dirt bikes where Joe Robbie Stadium is and just watching the growth and the maturation and the glow up, if you will, of the city. It makes me proud to be a son of the city, and it makes me proud that I was able to raise my sons in the city, and then my sons can come back and raise their sons in the city. That's why I'm running. I'm not running for me right now. I'm running for the next generation and putting policies and institutional pieces within our city that will be there long after my term is over, long after my life is over, and I'll continue to serve the people of Miami Gardens and pour back into the same community that made me, that built me, that made me who I am. That's what Miami Gardens means to me. Home.
What's up, Hello News family? Welcome to another episode of the Can We Talk podcast, our show where we talk to dope people in the community doing dope things, and we give you guys the political tea, gossip, and everything in between. I am so excited to have our next guest on today. We are continuing our political coverage. It has been an amazing ride, a crazy ride. I have not been sleeping a lot, but to me, this is worth it. Getting the information to the community is worth it. So, as always, thank y'all for being with us. Shout out to our advertisers, the people who allow us to do what we do. So make sure y'all support them. Support those who support Black-owned media and local businesses. So let's see who's in the chat. Hey. Y'all make sure y'all like and share. Please make sure y'all do that to get the algorithm up. That helps us with our getting monetized on Facebook and just getting more just like engagement as well. So like, share, and all those things on all the different platforms. We have a really dope show today. As you know, we're doing this special edition of our Tuesday show where we are interviewing candidates. Okay, so we're going deep in. We're talking to them and getting, all the information that you want to know. Before we get started, I just want to do some quick housekeeping. Guys, we are doing our first political event called Politics and Chill, a play on Netflix and chill. Our first one is coming up on Tuesday, June 29th at Coast Space in Miami Gardens from 7 to 10 p.m. And our next one will be Tuesday, August 4th at We Shuckin' Restaurant in Pembroke Pines from 7 to 10 p.m. It is going to be a free event, music, a live discussion, and everything in between, okay? So make sure you guys are definitely tuned in the place. We're going to be having discussions that we can't really have on even on the live, okay? But I just want to have a place where we can have a safe space to talk about politics, what we want to see in the future, and just also get to meet y'all in person and do this kind of in person as well. And I may have a little special guest for the Miami show that's still pending. I got somebody who's saying they want to come and pull up on us. So y'all make sure y'all come to Politics and Chill. And let me share those flyers with you real quick. This is what it is. It is the Miami location. This is the information. And here's information for the Broward location. So y'all make sure y'all pull up, pull up, pull up. Thank y'all. So we're going to get started with our first candidate interview. If he's ready to go, he can send me a thumbs up and we will get started and bring him on. He is our first guest up. He's running for Miami-Dade County School Board District 1. His name is James Wright. He's been in the community working for years, and he wants your vote and wants to lead the future of District 1. So are you ready, James? You ready to come on the show? I can see you backstage. Give me a thumbs up. Are you ready? I can't see your thumb. I guess okay. So without further ado, I would love to welcome to the show our first guest. Oh, the music is still playing. Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay, because I heard it, but I did not hear it. Thank you so much. Was it nobody else in the comments gonna tell me that? Thank y'all for letting me know. Was it distracting? Can y'all hear everything what I was saying? Thank you, Tatas. Okay, so let me try that. Let me do that over. I'd like to bring our first guest on. He is vying for your vote for Miami-Dade County District 1 School Board. He's been working in the community for years and he wants your vote. So without further ado, I would love to welcome to the show, Mr. James Wright. Hey
Thank you so
there.
much. Thank you so much, and welcome not only to you but to your viewing audience.
Thank you so much. Hey there. What's up, everybody? I see the keepers. That's what we call our audience, James. Like they're the keepers. So I see them joining us in the chat. And while they're joining us, we're gonna jump right in, okay? So for anyone who's just meeting you for the first time, tell us why you're running for Miami-Dade County School Board and tell us a little bit about yourself. You could go on into like your professional, personal, community experiences that have prepared you to serve the students, family, and teachers and staff of District 1.
Thank you so much, and I want to welcome all of your viewers. My name is James Wright. I am a product of District 1, product of District 1 schools, a lifelong Floridian, have been here all of my life. My family moved into this area when I was in the first grade. And I am running to make what I believe is the most critical thing that we can do for our children and make an investment to them. I have spent my adult, the majority of my adult life in public service, right? And so I began with Miami-Dade Police Department, became a police officer at 19, ended up leaving there as a police lieutenant, became the police chief for the city of Opelika, left, went back to county government as an administrator. And then the city asked me to come back in 2022 as the interim city manager. Currently, I'm a proud father and grandfather, and I'm a small business owner. And so throughout those many years, I've served in a number of capacities, not only professionally, but also on some community-based boards. I served about 8 or 9 years with Miami-Dade Economic Advisory Trust. So I spent my time on that committee with, trying to produce economic development and opportunities for people in Miami-Dade County. I also want the viewers to know, a lot of people ask, what is your background in education? It is important to understand that a few years ago, well, more than a few years ago now, when Dr. Robert Ingram died in office, the governor at the time, Charlie Crist, asked for people to apply to fulfill that role. I happened to be one of the 3 individuals that he interviewed on his short list to fill that vacancy back in 2008. So education is not new to me. I'm surrounded by a number of educators. My youngest sibling was the executive director for investigations under Rudy Crew. My eldest sibling was a teacher at the same time that she was a supervisor at the post office. And then my mom, a longtime cosmetologist, ended up selling her business and went to Century to teach there for many, many years. In addition to that, as a chief of police, I held and hosted meetings with the feeder pattern North Dade Middle School and Hialeah Miami Lakes with administration there, where we worked on resolving problems with children in that community to bring about change. The last thing I will say about education is 3 years I served on this collaborative partnership called Impact, Miami Partnership for Community, for Academic and Community Transformation. What we did there was a panel of us, and we were interested in resolving long-term problems that we began to see in the community with respect to truancy, low grades, absenteeism, lack of parental involvement, and all of those things.
Oh, that's what's up. Thank you for running down your resume and letting the people know that you got receipts.
I do have some receipts. And I also want to say this, a number of people may think, all of these people are running for the same seat. What is their motive? Well, actually, I was preparing for 2028 when I anticipated the seat would be open. It opened sooner than that, and I'm in the race.
That's what's up. Okay. Well, my next question is many voters aren't entirely sure what a school board member actually does. In your own words, what is the role of a Miami-Dade County school board member, and what do you believe are the most important responsibilities of the position?
Thank you for the question. Going back to the education piece, a school board member is what I'd like to say a fiduciary. That means that individual is holding a position of trust. The position does not belong to them, it belongs to the voters. And you are looking to make executive level decisions. What I mean by that is that the decisions that the school board will make extends beyond education policy. As many of you all know, there are a number of issues facing the school board now. The healthcare contract that is coming up, $3 billion over 7 years. That in addition to that, the school board is ensuring student safety, student success, workforce readiness. They're ensuring that that people are getting paid on time, and then there are also goods and services that are part of the budget contracts that we have to approve. Those sorts of things. So you need someone who can exercise judgment, someone who's transparent, someone who is even keeled, if you will. Being able to make decisions, and certainly you need to be a collaborative individual. I often tell people that you need a diversity of thought in organizations and institutions because look at the board of directors for a hospital. Everyone can't be a doctor or a nurse. You need thoughts, you need different experiences and those sorts of things so that you have a board that brings different perspectives and experiences to the decision-making process.
Thank you. My next question is District 1 has experienced years of strong academic performance under Dr. Steve Gallen's leadership, with many schools earning A grades and the district benefiting from a number of student and community initiatives. If elected, what parts of Dr. Steve Gallen's legacy would you work to preserve, and what changes or new priorities would you bring to the district?
I like the fact that he was very engaged with the community at large. I like the fact that he always recognize a student of the month. What I'd like to do if I'm able to earn the trust and confidence of the voters in District 1 is I'd like to expand that some. Not only recognizing the student of the month, but I'd like to also recognize the principal of the month and then allow the principals at some time during the year recognize their staff so that they can be honored as well. As I mentioned, I'm no stranger to community collaboration, getting input from business owners, from staff, all of those things. And so with respect to him being present in the district, Certainly, I want to continue doing that. I intend to meet with every principal in District 1, visit every school, continue to hold community meetings so that I can continue on an ongoing basis to get feedback so we can improve the district as a whole. You may know that the great work that he has already done, we are still, with the end of the school year, still have eight C schools. So one of the things that, that concerns me, is have these schools always been a letter rate C? Did they move from a B to a C? And based upon the experience that has shaped me in law enforcement, I always look at the data. And when I have data, I'm able to make informed policy decisions.
Well, I have a quick follow-up question because I heard you mention that on
Sure.
the school board forum for that Miami NAACP hosted last week or a few weeks ago. And so when you
Mhm.
said you would want to see what the schools have done previously, is that information not public knowledge? Can you not see that unless you like work within the district? Because I'm just curious if that's something that you can find out now to see if they have moved up or if they stayed consistently at a C. I'm just curious.
The answer is you should be able to identify that. The question for me is how to navigate the entire system, the entire portal online. So I will tell you that there are some things that, with respect to data and stats, where to find that information. I will tell you already that you and most of the viewers may already know is that when he came in 2016 up until the present time, the district has greatly improved, right? And so when I'm looking at state assessments and what the scores are for District 1 over the last 3 years, the district has continued to improve. And so when when I look at the data and I look at some of the other districts in the school board, some of the other districts are outperforming the state assessment, and so I'd want to know why. Is it absenteeism? What are they doing in those other districts that we could replicate in District 1 that we can scale and have our scores overall improve?
Gotcha. Thank you for answering that. My next
Sure.
question is Miami-Dade County Public Schools, like many districts across across the country, continue to face teacher shortages and challenges recruiting and retaining educators. What strategies would you support to attract, support, and retain high quality teachers and school employees?
Thank you for the question. It's a good one. It's a question that's on everyone's mind. And
Mhm.
while teacher pay is an issue, I believe teacher retention is a larger issue. I was surprised to find out that the district does not conduct exit interviews. And
Mm.
so while you may tell me what your conversation has been with teachers, with them leaving the district, it really doesn't tell me from a data perspective why, because we can't identify and fix a problem that we don't have stats on. So one of the initiatives and one of the things that I believe will be one of my first agenda items is to direct the superintendent and get support from the board that we begin to conduct exit interviews on all employees. As a small business owner, if someone's leaving my employ, I want to know why. Is it pay? Is it they're having challenges to get to work to that particular assignment? Can I put them at a closer work site? What are the issues? We do know also that the cost of living in South Florida is continually high. One of the things that the nation began when I was a police officer was they had the officer next door program. In addition to that, what they also implemented is the teacher next door program. And what that is it allows, let's say, for instance, um, an incoming teacher, a new teacher, right? And so uh, if we're able to educate some of the teachers with respect to programs that are out, specifically the teacher next door program, I want to partner with our municipal partners, Miami Gardens, North Miami, Opelika, North Miami Beach, to determine what other financial incentives there are, down payment assistance that can be provided for some of these new teachers coming into the system. Oftentimes, as I was talking to someone yesterday, they agreed that they are not being paid enough as a teacher, right? Unless they have a master or doctoral degree. And what this teacher explained to me is, because I love what I'm doing, the pay is not, while it's low, I still love my job. And experience has taught me that oftentimes the pay, your pay, teacher pay, may not be the only issue. So I want to work with the union. I want to work with our municipal partners. I want to work with um, uh, the union, our municipal partners, and even Dade County, Miami-Dade County Housing Authority that has programs already that we can facilitate. Number one, with incoming teachers, teacher retention. Again, why are they leaving? Is it the cost of living? Is it the pay? Is it, in addition to those things, is it non-support in the school system? And so I would be an advocate for them, an advocate from the standpoint of identifying what those critical issues are and looking for a way to resolve them. The last thing I want to say is, because I almost forgot with respect to teacher pay, is the voters voted a couple years ago on what we call this one meal referendum, right? It is supposed to be used as additional monies to offset the cost of teacher pay and teacher retention. It also assists other school board employees as well. But the question is, are we maintaining our promise for that additional money that we got? Have the teachers been paid? Are they paying? Are they, the teachers that we want to retain? Are they receiving the pay supplement? Those are the things that I would be concerned about.
Thank you. And just want to just let you know, mindful of time, you have about like 10, 12 minutes left. So I want you to be able to get through all your
Okay,
questions and just respect
sure,
to the other candidates that are here for the interview.
without
So
question.
my next question is, school choice continues to be one of the biggest education debates in Florida. What are your views on charter schools, private school vouchers, and school choice? How do you believe these policies impact traditional public schools, and what role should the school board play in ensuring every child has access to a high quality education?
So I believe so. Let's take this in part. Um, the first question was, how do I feel about school choice? I believe that parents should have the ability to choose where their child goes to school. Um, in addition to that, it happens to be the law, right? They can do that. And so, what I have been communicating to people, just like I have my own a small business, that I don't necessarily worry about what my competitors are doing. I make sure that I'm providing the best service, the best value, the best return on my client's investment. That I'm always the first choice, right? I do no advertising. Most of my work is referral, and so what the competitors doing, I'm not really concerned about them. But why is that important for the Miami-Dade School Board? I believe that we need to create the opportunity that we become the first choice for parents and students. With respect to charter schools and vouchers, you also know that the law that there is a law that we cannot in underutilized schools prevent other schools, even at a reduced rate, from using some of our facilities. Those charter schools and schools of hope that will be coming, while they are paying a fee toward Miami-Dade County School Board, it is at a much reduced rate. And so funding coming from the federal level and at the state has been reduced. And then these laws have been enacted. We need to abide by them, but we also need to make with expanded programs, magnet programs, our relationships with the business community, with Miami-Dade College, so that Miami-Dade Public Schools becomes the first school of choice. You had a second question, and I'm not sure if I answered it in that follow-up.
No, you actually did.
It had to do with
The second question was, how do you believe these policies impact traditional public schools, and what role should the school board play in ensuring every child has access to a high quality education? So
yeah, they impact the bottom line. They impact funding, and so that there's reduced funding. I've heard complaints of children leaving the public school system and then going to charter schools and then eventually coming back. And so that's an issue. And again, I think if we're going to be number one, there are things that we need to do on a continual basis to make sure that happens.
some Miami-Dade schools are facing declining enrollment while others continue to grow. How should the school board respond to lower enrollment, and what factors do you believe are contributing to these changes?
So the data has told us that there is actually a perfect storm. And that perfect storm is under enrollment, people leaving Miami-Dade County, going to Broward, leaving the state, a number of issues that is and has affected declining enrollment. The challenge is that with the declining enrollment, what does the data show? I'll give you a classic example to your answer. I read an article a few weeks ago where when the 9 schools that were that they announced that they were closing, it said from 2016 to 2026. If I interpreted that article correctly, what came across to me, or the question that I had was, did it take the school board 10 years to determine that in one particular school, students were declining? At what point were there boundary committee meetings? Were there other meetings talking about the declining enrollment? What we were doing, i.e. the school board, to address those, and then began to institute factors to mitigate to the degree that they could for declining in enrollment. And so at the end of the day, you have school closures, which should be the last option. You have school repurposing, which means that we still have assets that we're responsible for. And I'm a strong believer that strong schools create strong communities. They're community assets. We pay for them. We should have a say. When I say we, the community should have a say in what happens to those assets. And those things are important with respect to transparency and allowing individuals to provide feedback.
Thank you. We've heard concerns from educators and families that immigration enforcement and fears surrounding ICE have affected student attendance and enrollment in some communities. What impact, if any, do you believe this has had on Miami-Dade County Public Schools, and how should the district support students and families while remaining within its legal responsibilities?
So the question to that is, if elected, I would more than likely be a no vote with respect to agreements with the police department, having a relationship with the federal government with respect to immigration. I don't believe that our immigration policy should play a vital role in our children. I don't believe that we should have an agreement with respect to those types of enforcement efforts. And so I believe it has played a role because it begins to establish fear in individuals who are undocumented. And while outside of the role of a school board member, I believe that we should have a pathway to citizenship and residency. And so that is important because now individuals who may be under a TPS may say the kids are not going to school, because if they go to school and there's an issue, they are going to get my kid eventually for the purposes of having me in custody, and then what's going to happen to the kids.
Thank you. Um, Another question that I have is beyond academics, students are facing challenges related to mental health, school safety, absenteeism, and preparing for college and careers. And you spoke a little bit on absenteeism. Which of
Mhm.
these issues or another issue not mentioned would be your top priority, and what specific actions would you take to address it?
Mental health, absenteeism are all factors that prevent our children from learning. Again, going back to a conversation I had with a teacher yesterday, and it also made me remember something. Um, it is my understanding that the school board does not reach out to a parent until a child has been absent for a minimum of 10 days. I think that is too long to determine the status of a child. With my background in law enforcement, obviously school safety, I could, if I wanted to, I could probably run just on that itself. I'm concerned about mental health. I'm concerned about bullying. I am concerned about these children on social media, using their devices and coming up with grievances where they're talking about, I'm coming back to shoot up students, the schools, all of those sorts of things. So mental health is important. Absenteeism is important, and I believe those things need to be addressed, and they need to be addressed more appropriately and sooner than 10 days. Uh, 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 3 days is a long time.
Mm. Thank you. I want to, before we wrap up, there were a few questions in the audience that I would like to, bring to your attention. That's a part of coming
Sure.
on Hello News Live, and the Can We Talk podcast live. We take questions from the audience. So this one is from Marlon Hill. What is your vision for the utilization of school board property for public private projects for housing or other innovative issues?
Great question. I believe that we can do a couple of things, and it goes back to the question with respect to housing for school board employees, not necessarily teachers, but teachers included. Well, what some districts are doing across the country is that they are using those properties for housing for teachers, for school board employees. And so certainly I would not be a proponent of selling school board assets, but certainly developing public-private, what we call public-private partnerships for housing in other innovative ways for teachers and school board employees.
Okay. Thank you for answering that. And our last question is, finally, why should the voters of District 1 trust you with their vote?
Good question. Thank you. Um, they should trust me with their vote because um, I intend to, if elected, operate with integrity, transparency, exercise judgment, exercise calm, and they can expect me to be, and I used this word earlier, a fiduciary, which means that the seat that I hold or intend to hold on the board is a position of trust. It is not my position. I'm not looking to be elected to springboard into another political office. I have enough titles, and every place and assignment that I've been in the public square, I have left better than I found it. I've exercised judgment. I've found additional dollars. I've looked for solutions. I've provided solutions, and that's the kind of candidate that the voters should expect me to be if elected to the Miami-Dade County School Board.
Thank you so much, James. Thank you for your candidate interview. Look, let people know how they can support you, your website, your social media, if they want to volunteer, donate, all the things. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. For any campaign, it's the three M's. You need money, you need a machine, and you need to get your message out. You can find out my other priorities on my campaign website, www.jameswrightcampaign.com. www.jameswrightcampaign.com. Thank you so much to your listening audience. Thank you, Janae, for this time and for this opportunity to share. I hope it has been insightful. I hope it has been beneficial, and we'll see you on the campaign trail.
Yes, and I'm putting it right there on the screen. I hope I didn't spell campaign wrong, typing fast. Um, but here we are. Thank you so much, James, for coming on the show. And guys, if you're here to support James Wright, show him some love in the chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your insightful and detailed answers. And God bless on the campaign trail, and may the best person win. I appreciate you for coming on the Can We Talk podcast, and
Sure.
believing in and supporting local Black-owned media.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, y'all. Come on, James. Kicked off the show with the energy that we like, that we need. He was definitely very, very informed and had like his plan clear. And I could feel like it felt like he thought it through. So I really like when candidates are prepared, right? So thank y'all so much for rocking with us. We're getting ready for our next candidate. She's going to be coming on in a few. I just want to make sure y'all are in the chat. Look, y'all y'all make sure y'all like and share. Okay, so, hey, what's up? I see people are joining us. What's up, JJ? Hey, Auntie. Hey, Audrey. Hey, Tangela. I see you in the chat as well. Guys, this is our special edition Tuesday night show where we are doing candidate interviews. We are giving people opportunity to share their stories and tell you why they deserve your vote. Okay, earlier in the show, I had the music running, so I just want to give another plug for our events that are coming up next week and the following week. So we are doing politics and chill, okay? It's the play on Netflix and chill. And what we're going to be doing is talking about the candidates that we want in office. We want to talk about what we want to see in the future of our community. We're going to have free refreshments, music, a live panel discussion. I'm going to have a special guest at the Dade County event that's going to be announced soon, but definitely want to pull up. Shout out to our sponsors, Coast Space, and we're going to be doing it on July 29th from 7 to 10 p.m. at Coast Space, and then we're going to do it on August 4th from 7 to 10 p.m. at We Shuckin' Restaurant in Broward County. This has turned into a mini tour. We actually have a Palm Beach County location pending, so we're going to work that out as well, but this has turned into something for us to come together, talk about politics, talk about what we want to see, do a little tea, a little gossip as well, but also to commune and fellowship together. So, guys, this is our first political event. I'm excited about it. Also, too, the Yo I Voted election night party is coming together as well. Shout out to Freezy and Reggie Leon, who wants to work with us on that. So we're working out the details on that. So as soon as we have that, we're going to definitely share that with the community. So I just wanted to give you guys that information before we get into our next interview. So if my next candidate is ready to come, I got to let y'all know the Politics and Chill event. Sorry, elected official, this is not a place for y'all to campaign. We want the people to feel comfortable and not, this is a safe space. Not saying that y'all will make people feel unsafe, but we want to be able to have candid conversations about the elected officials and what we think and what we want and what we want to see. So, I'm not saying I'm pushing anybody out, but we're doing this one for the community just to let y'all know. Okay. If anybody try to pull up, right? Now, if your supporters come, that's different. We can't control that, but we want to have these to be safe spaces for the community to come out and talk and be candid and be real. Okay. So without further ado, I would love to welcome my next guest. If she's ready to go, I'll look for her thumbs up in the chat. Okay, okay. I see you backstage, girl. I see you backstage. So I would like to welcome our next guest. She is running for State Senate District 34. She's vying for your vote. She's been in the community as well, doing her thing, and she is here coming on the Can We Talk podcast powered by Hilo News. So without further ado, I would love to welcome to the show Christine Sanon-Jules. Hey,
Hi.
girl.
Hi, Janae. Thank you so much for having me. I love being on Hilo. It's an honor. So thank you so much. Or can we talk?
Can we talk? It is high low. Can we talk? Look, it's all of those things. I appreciate you when you ran for office last time. You came and made sure that you came onto the platform. So thank you for coming back, girlfriend.
Yes, yes. Thank you for having me. Hi,
Thank
everyone that's watching.
Yes, you gotta make sure you see this is a good like the candidates, y'all gotta tell y'all people to come through the chat. Some of the other candidates, they be having people come spam us. Like it's okay. Tell your supporters to come through and tell them to come support you as well. Like and share. This is how we get the algorithm going. But thank you so much for coming on, Christine. And you know what? Let's jump right into it. So if anybody's just meeting you, tell them who you are, tell them a little bit about your personality and why you're running for state senate.
Awesome. Well, my name is Christine Sanon-Jules, formerly Olivo. I am running to be your next state senator for District 34. I'm an educator, an advocate, and a proud mom. I have a bachelor's in public administration. I have a master's in business. I am getting my second master's in public policy at the U. I, I'm an advocate in the community. You see me out in the streets fighting for immigration, fighting for women's rights, fighting for human rights, fighting for better jobs. And while I've never held elected office, I have held an eviction notice. And I know what it's like to fight to keep a roof over your head. I know what it's like to fight to put food on the table, for health care. I'm going to Tallahassee not just to be a lawmaker, but to be a change maker, because I believe that it's time that as a community, we change the way we move in this political environment. You want me to keep going? Because I can.
No, you were breaking up a little bit. So just want to
Oh,
give you a quick little connection. I don't know if you have a hard line to the internet. That always helps best, especially on this platform, StreamYard. But you were not like we could hear you, but that's why at the end I was like waiting because you paused a little bit. So just wanted to give you a heads up on that. If you want to
okay,
check your
okay.
internet real quick, you can.
The
Uh,
internet is it's good. I've got the bars. I've got all the bars.
Okay, you sound good right now. If anything, if you pause too long, I'll let you know again. And if you need to repeat yourself, we're totally okay with doing that. Okay.
Okay.
So we got the gist of what you said, and everything like was mainly was clear. It was just at the end part.
Okay.
So my next question is: many voters hear about the legislator, but aren't always sure what a state senator actually does. What is the role of a Florida state senator, and what responsibilities come with serving in the Florida Senate?
Well, the current responsibilities are to go up, write and vote on laws. That's number one. Number two, to bring resources back to the community. We hold the purse, right? And the last one is to be accountable to the people. We have to answer to our constituents. But I want to go into Tallahassee and change the role. I want to create a new definition of what a state senator should really be doing. I want to connect our nonprofits and make sure that they understand, number one, how to apply for appropriations and how to work together so we can make sure that they get the resources that they need. I want to make sure that I am connecting with all the elected officials within my district and making sure that we are moving the needle forward for their communities, regardless of whether a bill turns into law or whether they get the resources they need. I am here to make sure that as a community, we can think outside the box and push past the limitations of a Republican majority. I want to create a community, right? A community where you know that even if I cannot answer your question, I'm going to find someone that can answer your question and help you in whatever you're going through. So we have what a state senator should be doing, but I'm going to add a little bit more to that.
Okay, girlfriend. I hear you. Thank you for breaking that down. If elected, Christine, what would be your top three legislative priorities for District 34? And why are those the issues believed deserve immediate attention?
Excellent. So if you go to my website, christineforfl.com, you'll see I have 6 pillars. It's the Christine's economic agenda. However, my top 3 right now would be a stability account, and I'll explain that in a very short and easy way. I know many people have probably gotten a payday loan, a cash advance, right? Because many people are one missed paycheck away from being homeless. I want to set up a stability account so that every individual, not just family, but every individual has access to 3 months worth of emergency savings so that you can tap into that money in case of an emergency. And the great thing is it's a revolving account that pays for itself. You put the money back in with a 1% interest, and the program will then pay for itself. It is not a handout, it's a hand up. That's number one. Number two, I want to fight for child care vouchers. Just like we have the voucher system for K through 12, I believe that from the moment a child is born, a family should be able to put them in daycare and not have the burden of paying $350 a week. So I'm going to fight for child care vouchers from the time that a child is born so that families can go to work and thrive. And the last one that I would really love to, and you're talking about the top 3, I want to
Your
bring
top three
back
priorities.
the film and television entertainment tax credit. When we
Clock it.
lost that tax credit, so many jobs went to Georgia or went to New Jersey or went to LA. We want those jobs back. We have a thriving entertainment industry right here, but there's no avenue for us to really expand and grow. And bringing that tax credit back would create thousands of jobs. And so those would be my top 3 priorities.
Thank you for breaking that down, Christine. And you know what? To your point, a lot of jobs were lost, and the film industry in Florida, especially in Miami, just disappeared because of that. So that would be really cool to see. And I know some local municipalities, I know Broward and Dade County have certain initiatives, but to have that support from the state would be a game changer, especially too. There's so many creative people down here in South Florida that would make a difference. I haven't heard anybody else really touch on that tax credit. So thanks for sharing that. My next question is about affordability. Affordability remains one of the biggest concerns for South Florida residents. Housing costs, property insurance, rising utility bills, and the overall cost of living continue to strain families. What specific policies would you support to make sure South Florida is more affordable?
I'm so glad you asked that. So one of the policies that I want to push is my Florida Keys to Home Act, right? Where we're putting keys in people's hands and having people get their first home. We have a lot of funding from the state. And a lot of people cannot tap into that because they either make too much or make too little, or the housing cap is at 463,000. And if you find a house that is worth moving into 463,000, good luck. So I want to break those barriers so that we can tap into the funding that's already there but not being utilized, so that more people can get into a home and they can have down payment assistance and they can get into their first home. I think that number one, affordable housing is a priority. And so that would be number one. And then also tackling the affordability crisis, taking care of our seniors and our veterans, making sure that they have their housing covered as well. We have Section 8. Obviously, Section 8 covers those that are low income, but we should have vouchers for our senior citizens and for our veterans. They have worked long enough. And I know my family, we have put together to help take care of my uncle who was elderly because his Social Security didn't cover his rent. So many families are cost burdened because they're trying to take care of their older loved ones. And so I would love to reduce that cost.
Thank you for explaining, what you would like to do. Um, my next question is switching gears just a little bit. Public education continues to be one of Florida's most debated issues. What are your views on public school funding, charter schools, school choice, private school vouchers, and student achievement? Where do you believe the legislators should focus its efforts?
So my first job as an educator, and where I was at for 7 years, 7+ years, was in a Christian school. I taught at Holy Cross in North Miami. And the vouchers, and I will say this, the voucher system is what keeps our teachers going, right? It's what keeps these kids in our schools. So I understand and support the voucher system, but by no means should we pull the vouchers from the same budget as public school funding. Absolutely not. They should be on a separate line item. We should never pull public school funding to go and support private schools or charter schools. And to any school that wants to try to cohabitate in our public schools, go get your own building. Our public schools belong to our public schools, period. I do not support the cohabitation by any means.
Mm, okay. Thank you. And then also to a part that I didn't include, just want to hear your thoughts about like teacher shortages as well and what role you would play if elected to, help reduce that.
Well, number one, we have teacher shortages. Our teachers aren't getting paid. Our teachers are
Mhm.
not getting paid. As a teacher, I've always had to teach and have a small business. I could never just survive off of one income. We would not have doctors without teachers. We would not have lawyers without teachers. We would not have politicians without teachers. So we need to pay our teachers well. And honestly, when we pay our teachers well, I truly believe that we'll see that our schools are filling up. A lot of parents have switched to homeschooling, right? So they pulled the students out, or they've moved to another state because they can't afford to stay here, right? So once we invest in our teachers, we're investing in a thriving community. Families will come back because a lot of these families that left were teachers. So I think that we should definitely invest more in our teachers. And I think that once we tackle the affordability crisis, a lot of our families will come back home.
Thank you. My next question is District 34 includes communities that rely on good paying jobs, economic development, and support for small businesses. And you kind of touched on that, in some of your earlier questions. I wanted to know what policies would you champion to grow the economy, create jobs, and help entrepreneurs and small business owners succeed?
Well, as a small business owner myself, it is extremely important to invest into our small businesses. I look at cities like Opelika, Brownsville, Alapata that are bursting. I mean, they have so much potential. They just need a champion to go to Tallahassee and bring the resources back to them so they can do what they do. If we get enough resources to our small businesses, then they can hire local. They can expand. They can do more. And we can tackle the affordability crisis by getting our money up. Because when people are making more, we can spend what we need to spend. So I think that number one, the policy has to be, let's invest in our cities that are struggling but have the potential to thrive. Hello, Opelika. Hello, Alapata. Hello, Brownsville. Hello, Little Haiti. Hello. Like, let's bring them what they need. There is no reason why every district cannot be like our neighbors in Miami Beach or Weston or all these other areas that are thriving and they're literally 15 or 20 minutes away. We just need
Mhm.
investment. Trust me, Florida has the money. We're just spending it all on the wrong things.
You know what? Thank you, Christine. I see somebody in the comments. Speak on it. Oh, I will have a quick follow up to that because you're saying that there's things that you want to do. I would love to know your thoughts on working with the other side of the aisle because one thing that we do know here in Florida, there is a super majority for the Republican Party, and a lot of funding and resources go to those districts. And so, what would you do? As a Democrat working with in a super majority Republican stronghold of our Florida legislator, like what strategies or how would you work with the other side of the aisle to be able to bring some of those resources back that you're talking about? Because as we know, people have gone up there, they've tried, but we understand that if it ain't red, you may not get passed. So let us know your thoughts on like working with the other side of the aisle and to get some of these things done.
So the great thing about being the only one in my race that has not been elected is that I am not afraid of the limitations that are put in front of me. I do not see the Republican majority as a challenge or an obstacle. I see it as an opportunity. My community does, yes, the community needs me to fight. Obviously, I'm going to go up there and fight. But I'm going up there with one priority. I need to bring home the bag. And how am I going to do that? I need to have conversations, build relationships. They don't know me. Let's sit down. Let's get to know each other. Let's find a common ground. And then I need you to come and meet my people. I need you to come and sit down with us. I want you to look them dead in the eye and then tell them, no, you can't fund their transportation program. And then tell them, no, that you can't invest in their small businesses. And then tell them, no, that their students don't matter. Tell that to their face. Come and meet my people. I'm not afraid of going into a Republican majority. I've been fighting my entire life. But I've also been working across the aisle my entire life. I know how to talk to people, and I know how to meet people where they're at. So I'm not afraid. I'm excited. And I've actually reached out to a few of those that sit on the legislature that are Republicans just to introduce myself. I've already made that step because I know that this is going to take a level of maturity that pushes past color. And I don't just mean red and blue, okay? We have to push past color and see what the priority is. The priority is bring the money home.
Okay, girl. And I've been sipping a little bit, so I'm a little comfortable right now. So excuse me.
Sorry, the light.
But so also too, like while we're talking about like going up and getting things done, you know, this is Can We Talk? And I have my ear to the street now. I have my ear to the street, Christine. So the people have said that you've run for office a couple of times and have not been successful. So can you tell us can you explain to us, your views on like experience versus, a new time elected official and how, you plan to be able to get the job done, even though you have not, held elected office because, that has been a talk in the streets of like, hey, she's run a couple of times, but not been able to get elected. So let's talk about it.
So I have the courage to go up and say that my community deserves better. And that's what I do every single day. You can fall down 7 times, but all that matters is that you get up that 8th time. The reason why I keep running is because they're not changing. And if the elected officials don't want me to run anymore, then I need them to deliver on what the people need. I am not afraid. I'm not afraid to run and fall. But one thing you will know in Christine Sanon-Jules is that I'm going to get back up. We are not satisfied with the status quo. We are not satisfied with we tried, but we couldn't deliver. Okay, well then tap me in. Tap me in. Give me a chance. And let's see if a different perspective, if a different angle can deliver what the people need. You can say whatever you want. Honey, I have 4 brothers. I've got 3 sisters. We're a big family. I have very thick skin. I know what has been said, but one thing I want you to know is that I'm a champion for my community. From everyone down from Miami Beach all the way up to Miami Gardens. I am a champion for my community. And if you don't want a champion, then don't vote for me. But if you want someone that's never going to give up on you, then I'm your girl.
Thank you. I appreciate you for, answering that and just giving people that different perspective because, that's been conversation. Do you have we've had some conversations offline about like the machine and support that certain people have. Do you feel like that has contributed to, the other outcomes in your races? Like, can we speak on that? Like, can we talk about it?
Okay, fine. Let's just be honest, right? So there is a machine. There is a machine, whether you want to believe it or not. And there's a machine that will always try to keep the door shut. I'm gonna give you a little bit of history. When I ran the first time, I was green. I was like, oh, this is for everybody. Like anyone can run. This is fine. I've always been a Democrat, but at the time, the law was not that you had to run under the party that you were affiliated with, right? But I wasn't even aware of it. I was green. So I jumped in, And I was originally running as a Democrat to challenge a well-known politician, which shall remain nameless because I want to win this race. But okay,
I'll tell
so
y'all when she get off. No, just
yeah, okay, we'll just stop. That was in 2020 when I went to challenge, and an email went out to anyone that was challenging a Democratic incumbent that said, if anyone works with any of these candidates, you will be blacklisted. Any consultants, any of that, right? So I said, hold on. You want to stop the people from running for the people's seat? So that's why I ran as a non-party in 2020. I was never registered as a non-party, but I said, if you don't want to open the door for me, I will bust through the window or I'll go through the roof. You're not going to tell me who can and cannot run for the people's seat. And so, yes, there is a machine, and they will try to hold you back, and they will make it seem like you're not a good candidate. It's not your time. Child, if you do not have thick skin, it will have you move to another state. You'll be like, okay, I'm gonna just change my name and leave. You have to really be called for this. And I don't know how many believers are watching right now, but this is a calling on my life. I'm not doing this for a title. I'm doing this to answer a call, to fight for the people that I grew up with, because I'm born and raised Dade County all day. And so if you think that the machine can stop me, good luck.
Shondo. Paula Shoshando. You gonna have us speaking in tongues in here, Christine. You know what? And you said you're from South Florida. Let us know what high school, just quick, what high school,
Oh, y'all are gonna judge
what
me. You're
set you
gonna
played.
judge me. I love my high school, but every time I say like, oh, you private school kids. I went to Pace, so I was born and raised in El Portal. I went to, hello, our amazing councilman, Robert Stevens III. He went to Pace. Shout out to my Spartans. I went as a Haitian American. Haitians are very big on Christian education. My family wanted me to go to a school where I could pray. And so I went to Holy Family as a kid in North Miami. And then I went to Monsignor Edward Pace High School. I'm a Spartan all day, every day. I mean, now I'm a Hurricane, but I'm a Spartan at heart. But I did teach Becoming a Responsible Teen at Norland. So I've been all in the district. I taught at Wright Leadership Academy in Liberty City. I go to multiple schools. I am now a public school mom. I just want to say that. I was a Christian school mom, and now I'm a proud public school mom. I love my public school. So, I'm everywhere.
Thank you for that giving us that quick little sidebar. I have, some more questions for you. Public safety remains a top concern for many residents. What role should the state play in addressing crime, gun violence, mental health, and community safety while balancing public safety and individual rights?
Raise the minimum wage. Period. Raise the minimum wage. And we want to talk about all this crime. People are, it was like last year around summertime, a man robbed a grocery store for groceries. I was at Publix on 6th Avenue the other day. I'm standing in line, and this young black kid, his gift card isn't working. A cop stands right over his shoulder, literally right over his shoulder. This white woman stands to the side. We're both watching. We're like, oh, what is going to happen? All the managers come, and he says his gift card isn't working. And so the white woman says, I'll pay for it. Why are you hovering over him right now? The kid just wants to eat. He had a little thing of fish and juice. We need to raise the minimum wage. We want to cut down on crime. We need to help our community make more above the median income that we have currently. So that's number one. You want to tackle crime? Help families live comfortably in Miami-Dade County and stop pushing us out. Number one. Number two, we need to invest in after-school programs for our youth. We need to invest in STEM programs for our youth. We need to expose them to different career opportunities. Listen, my answer will never be more policing. My answer will always be Let's feed back into our community. Let's pour back into the people that live here. We don't want to destroy our community. Some people are doing what they got to do just to survive.
Mm, thank you. And my auntie said you look like Kerry Washington. I actually see it.
Hello.
Thank you.
Thank you,
This is a
Auntie.
this this is a big question here. This is something that Florida residents deal with. What South Florida continues to face unique challenges related to transportation, infrastructure, flooding, climate resilience, and rapid development. What
Mhm.
role should the Florida legislator play in addressing these issues, and how could you advocate for District 34?
I mean, stop funneling transportation money into other programs.
Mm,
We have had this money time and time and time again. This is an accountability issue. Who's holding these people accountable? It is really frustrating because you may be able to find a good paying job, but you don't know how you're going to get there. And so we need to start looking at how our dollars are being spent. And that's on a county level too. I know that we have a lot of candidates right now talking about investing in transportation, investing in the infrastructure to build, expand the tri-rail and all these great things. But we've had this money time and time again. We need to start spending the money on what it's allocated for. And that takes accountability, and that takes people that are not afraid to stand up and say, hold on a second, that's not yours to spend, period. Another thing, I would like to give a shout out to my senior citizens out in Charles Hadley. They have a very serious transportation issue. Many of the people that do pick them up to go to different appointments do not speak English.
mm,
And they have written, they have called every elected official they could, and they don't know what to do because some of our seniors are getting left on the side of the road because they just can't communicate. And they've 3 or 4 people attested to the fact that they have been left on the side of the road. And I told them I'm going to do everything I can, but at the end of the day, we have to look at our community and say we need to build our own. Why don't we build our own? Let's get our own transportation. Let's organize it and say, okay, Christine, how can we get appropriations to have a nonprofit that's Black owned, that is going to pick up our people and take them where they need to go? And then say, all right, we're working on a community project. Let's get someone else involved. Let's put the appropriations through and let's bring the money home and let's do things on our own. Stop waiting for the government to just say, hey, we care about your issue. Here's a check. We got to go up there and think outside the box and make it happen on our own.
thank you. Christine, we're coming up on our last question. Why should the people of District 34 trust you with their vote? Tell us why you're the best person to represent them in the Florida Senate.
Because I am them. If you are a single mother that has had to figure out how you're going to pinch pennies together to get diapers for your child, I am you. If you are a young millennial that has had to figure out how to care for an elderly family member, I am you. If you are an overeducated Black woman that is underpaid, I am you. If you are a small business owner that is wondering, how come every other community is getting funding and I'm not? I am you. If you want someone that is going to fight on a personal level, then you're going to vote for Christine Alexandria Sanon-Jules Olivo. I know the name is long, but child, it stands out. I am number 98 on your ballot and number 1 in your heart. Thank you.
No, you better come through. I'm just saying, I feel like shouting for some reason. Look, you came with the energy. I appreciate it. Christine, look, let people know how they can follow you, support you, volunteer, donate, all the things. Let them know how they can connect with you, Christine.
Yes, well, you can go to my website, ChristineForFL.com. You can go on Instagram, ChristineForFL. You can message me or you can call me, 954-329-4782. I am reachable. You can contact me directly, 954-329-4782. I need volunteers. I need donations. But listen, if you can't make a donation, the people can win this. So if you want to show up, knock on a few doors, I'm happy to have you.
Come on now. You better come through with the energy, Christine. I appreciate you for always supporting High Low News over the years and coming on when you're running and having things going on in the community. So I appreciate that. Thank you, Christine. You guys, I see her supporters in the chat. Put some Christines in the chat, some applause in the chat, some fire in the chat if you're supporting Christine. I appreciate you for coming on. We had the website there on the screen for you. And God bless you in your race and may the best person win. Again, thank you for coming on and supporting local Black-owned media and sharing your story with our audience. Thank you, thank you,
Thank you. Good night. God bless.
thank you. Man, y'all, I feel like the spirit, what a hat at. I gotta put the hat on for her because the spirit don't came true. That was the great energy, great segue into our next interview. We're going to end it off with my hometown, Miami Gardens, saving the best for last, okay? So y'all geared up, get ready for our next candidate interview. Appreciating the candidates today. They seem very prepared, very detailed, got all the things that they have for, the elected office that they're running for. So I'm glad the people are I feel like they taking High Low News seriously. Like y'all notice that? Like they treating us like Channel 10. They treating us like Channel 7, CNN, Roland Martin. And shout out to the independent people, Don Lemon. But no, I appreciate that. And I'm so glad that we're able to allow people to have a long form conversation about the issues and why they're running for office and why they deserve your vote. So up next, we have a candidate running from Miami Gardens City Council seat 2. She has been doing her thing in the community as well for years. And you guys, if you're here tonight, if you're supporting the candidate Lavern Deer, put some Lavern, some Deer, some applause in the chat. Give her some love, give her some energy, because to come on the show and end off the show, it takes a lot. Thank you so much for your patience tonight, Lavern. And so without further ado, I would love to welcome to the show from Miami Gardens, my hometown, Miss Lavern Deer. Hey.
Hey, how you doing, Janae, and your audience?
What's up? Hey, what's up? Thank you so much for joining us and being our final candidate rounding out the show. And of course, we had to save the best for last, Miami Gardens. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yes. It's a pleasure to be here with you tonight.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And you know what? We just gonna roll right into it. We got Christine handed you that baton with that energy. So we just gonna keep it going on that.
Yeah,
so
I felt like I needed my church hat for Christine right there.
Didn't you feel like you needed to shout a little bit? I'm about to come on now.
Shonda,
I wish I could. That's me doing my Holy Ghost dance.
But listen, that's the energy you need going into office, right? You need someone who can rally the people and make you feel as though you're one of them. And she keeps emphasizing that. And so I appreciate that from her. Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much. So, I want to give you all your things and all your time. So we're going to jump right into it. Lavern, let people know, introduce yourself to our audience. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and what inspired you to run for Miami Gardens City Council.
So again, my name is Lavern V. Deer, and I'm a community advocate. I bring more than 20 years experience in the healthcare sector and the government sector, as well as nonprofit. Have my own nonprofit organization through advocacy. Throughout my career, I have managed multi-million-dollar programs working in local government. But most importantly, I'm a caregiver for my mom. That is the biggest job that I have. And what that has done is that has taught me patience. It has taught me, how that level of empathy with our seniors. And of course, Miami Gardens is a heavy senior community. But most importantly, my background in my education, I have a master's in business. I have my bachelor's in healthcare administration. So healthcare has been one of my top field in profession. And even with my master's, I currently work in government, but I work in the healthcare sector. And in that sector, I work with individuals who are struggling with substance use disorder and mental challenges. And so I focus a lot on compliance in the area that I work in government. And what that has done is it has taught me, one, patience for the most vulnerable community, as well as it helps me with changing policies. I work a lot with implementing changes through policies, and especially with the substance abuse crisis situation that we're dealing with in today's world. People need to understand that, substance abuse is not just affecting the individuals, it's also affecting families. And so when we go to work every day to help these individuals, we're not just helping them, we want to help them long term. And so my role in that is very fulfilling, and that's what brings me now into public service. Outside of that, I have my own charity organization called Female Development World Organization, where I do a lot of advocacy, teach a lot of children. My advocacy in my charity ties in with my profession, because through Female Development World Organization, I work along with a lot of individuals who have been trafficked or suffer some form of childhood trauma. And a lot of time, those childhood trauma lead you into those substance abuse lifestyle, right? And even in the criminal justice system. And so my advocacy ties in with my profession. So, people ask me, because I've been in that profession, I've been doing it for 15 years, serving those individuals. And sometimes people ask me, why don't you want to advance? Why don't you want to go further? And my response would be, you know what, I am really getting the gratification because, one, through my advocacy, I'm out there in the community, but I'm also helping people who have gone through childhood trauma and is now trying to recover from those trauma, from becoming victims to survivors. And so that now is what has led me into becoming a public servant, in wanting now to step up to the role, right? So in 2019, well, actually before 2019, I want to say 2012, I met House Representative Barrington Russell, who came to one of my symposiums that I was talking about child sexual abuse and those issues. And he invited me to come to Tallahassee. He says, I learned so much about what you're doing, and I want you to come to Tallahassee to work with my staff to see how we can put policies in place to change these issues. And so he brought me under his wings. I did a press conference in Tallahassee at the time. Ben Crump was there. We were advocating against human trafficking. And then that led now into the next year, where he didn't get reelected, but then he introduced me to Senator Perry Thurston. And through Senator Perry Thurston, I was able to rewrite proposal language with his staff, to be able to implement a bill to which led to the Florida Department of Education, making Florida the first state in the nation to teach human trafficking education in schools. So my professional life and my personal life all goes hand in hand, and that is what has prepared me now to run for office in Miami Gardens.
Thank you. And you actually answered both of my first two questions. So I actually want to go to a question from the chat. Shout out to my brother, Papa Keith, who I do That Part podcast with. You already know he's a radio icon extraordinaire on 103.5 The Beat. He said, where is she from? I hear an accent. Let us know, girl. You're going to tell us you're just from Miami Gardens. You're not just from Miami Gardens.
No. Actually, I am from Jamaica. I left Jamaica at a very young age, moved to the Bahamas, and then spent 2 years, went to Donald Davis in the Bahamas, and then from the Bahamas here to South Florida, where I went to Booker T. Washington. And from there, I went to North Miami Beach. Well, actually, I went to Miami High and then moved to North Miami Beach, to where I graduated from North Miami Beach Junior High. So yes, I am from two parts of Jamaica that I claim, Kingston and St. Elizabeth.
Okay. And my dad's side of the family, they're Bahamian. So okay, you got a few of the islands in there. But okay,
Yes, yes,
and,
yes.
and thank you so much, Papa Key. But he's Trinidadian. Like that's just something that you
Ah,
just catch. Like that's the Caribbean thing. When y'all hear accent, you're like, what? Where you
where's
from?
that from? I know, right?
Where your people from? So thank you for that, co-host. Good catch. Good catch. Thank you. And that's a part of High Low News. We're hyper local. So, having people feel like they have a connection to you is what it's all about. So I appreciate you for
And
sharing that with
listen,
us.
that's what makes us Miami Gardens so special, right? We're a melting pot. We have maybe about what a 39% of Caribbeans here in this city, and just about listen. If y'all want mangoes, come mango season, come to Miami Gardens, okay?
That part.
We have all the fruit trees. You want ackee? Come to Miami Gardens, okay? And that's what makes us so special here, and we share with our neighbors. That's how we are in this city.
Yes, we do. Thank you so much for sharing your background with us. Just switching gears a little bit. My next question is one of the issues residents consistently raise is traffic around Hard Rock Stadium during major events. What solutions would you support to reduce traffic congestion and improve the quality of life for nearby residents while still embracing the economic benefits the stadium brings to the city?
So, I one of the things that I stated is that the stadium is one of our highest tax revenue, and so we need to work with them, right? However, the events have brought in so much of a what I want to say, heartache to our residents, especially we bring in FIFA, we bring in Formula One, we bring in the tennis. And so one of the things when I ran in 2024, which I didn't state that before, that I did run in 2024, I was advocating for the FDOT North Corridor project. Because I felt as though having the rail to come from downtown here, it will eliminate some of the traffic on the road. And so that didn't happen. But when I get back in office, that's one of the things that I want to do. I want to be able to work with the District 1 commissioner, who now is Dr. Gallen, and to see how we can bring that back on the table of discussion. I know it's been in a long time going, but one of the biggest thing that as a low-hanging fruit that the current council members have tried to put in place is where they try to have a fast lane, right? Where they give you a pass that you can try to go through, and if you live in the Lake Lucerne or in that District 1 area, you'll be able to have easier access. But that haven't been working. So I would want to sit with the stadium, number one, as well as Miami-Dade County, to see when these large events are happening, to work with the law enforcement, because a lot of the time, law enforcement are coming in from different cities. And while Miami Gardens police officers may be familiar with the residents, these law enforcement that are coming in to cover these events, they're just coming in to do their job. And so a lot of time they're not briefed into these fast access passes. And so I would want to sit with all the event organizers, number one, before the events come, so they understand that our residents are priority, right, the traffic, but also work with the law enforcement that are covering these events to ensure that they see and recognize these passes to allow these residents to come in. There is a current item on the agenda for tomorrow for that I believe Councilman Reggie Leon has proposed for a resident first item, to where he is looking to work with the with the stadium to be able to ensure, one, that the residents have timely announcement when there are events going on at the stadium, because a lot of times announcement goes out maybe 2 days before, and so it goes out on social media. Well, a lot of seniors is not accessible on social media, or you may have a resident in Lake Lucerne who may not see that and know that a game is coming, but they are the one who's being affected because currently there's only a one-way in, one-way out. Another thing that I would want to do is there is, especially for the Lake Lucerne community, there is a road that is being opening up from 207 down to County Line. I would want to work with those developers to ensure, which I believe by now and 2027, that road should be opened up. I would definitely work with them to ensure that that road is open to where now it is not just a one-way in, one-way out for those in Lake Lucerne, because that is a fire hazard as it currently is right now, that if there is an emergency, that you can't get in and you can't get out. And so it's going to be really important, one, to work with the stadium to ensure that the residents are aware of when events are coming, but also work with the contractors who are working on those roads to ensure that that project is completed in a timely manner for those residents.
Thank you for sharing that. And while we're, talking about the stadium, just to switch gears just a little bit, and a fun question that we've been asking all of the candidates because it came up in one of our lives, and I'm like, I'm just curious to know too. So, the city of Miami Gardens puts on Jazz in the Gardens, and it's a huge attraction that draws people from all over the country. So, what would be your dream lineup for Jazz in the Gardens?
Oh my gosh. Well, you did ask me where I was from before, so I would love to see Buju Banton.
Oh, that'd be a good
I
one.
would love to see Buju Banton on there. Listen, I have gone to Jazz in the Gardens. Jazz in the Gardens is a really good event that brings the community together, and it brings people from out of town. And so the entertainment, I think through what I've heard through the years, that it has lost its jazz flavor, that it's not jazz anymore. But you know what? The community is changing, right? And so as you start looking at artists, you want to look at the cultural diversity that we have in the city. And we now have a large growing community of Hispanics. So, I would like to see some Hispanic music as well to accommodate that group. But of course, we also have the Caribbean. So I want, you can have a mixture. It's a 2-day event. And for me, I would like to see over the 2-day that our seniors get what they're looking for when they go, as well as the younger folks. They want to be able to come out and also enjoy. And so, yes, I believe in diversifying the entertainment that comes in.
Okay. So my next question is, residents often tell us they're concerned about public safety, property taxes, illegal dumping, and unpermitted campers or RVs being parked in residential yards. Of these issues or others you heard from residents in your district, which would be your highest priorities, and what actions would you take to address them?
Well, I tell you, the RVs is a big concern, only because it affects the blight. It affects people are concerned about their property. And so, of course, those are something that we have to address, right? And so I know in the past, people use their RVs for camping trips, but there have been issues where people are using them for renting income. And so you really don't want that, to where you have your neighbors that are like my mom. She puts a lot into her beautifying her yard and her grass, and then you have the neighbor who have these RVs that are bringing not such an attraction to the neighborhood. And so I would definitely want to address those concerns of preserving our neighborhood appearance, because that's important. That your property taxes, your property value goes up. You don't want that. As well as preventing illegal rentals, right? And public safety, because a lot of times when these RVs or these illegal renting spaces are there, you don't know who are living in there, who are coming and going. And so you want to be able to address those. I definitely would want to take a balanced approach with it, right? Periodically reviewing ordinances to ensure that it addressed the safety and the concerns without, of course, creating any unnecessary hardship to our residents. Because if someone wants to invest in an RV and they want to use it as a vacation to go away, whenever they choose to, yes, they should be able to. But if someone is doing it to use it as renting and creating a nuisance to their neighbors to bring down their property, you don't want that. So as council member, I would definitely want to bring a balanced approach to that situation, because I know it is a big concern to our residents right now.
Thank you. My next question is, serving on city council can be challenging, especially when residents are frustrated or emotional. We've all seen it. I know I see you in the city council meetings, Lavern. How do you
Yes.
personally handle pressure, criticism, and conflict? Can you share an example of a time when you had to lead through a difficult situation or respond to a strong public criticism?
It's called emotional intelligence, right? And that is something that I teach. I teach our children. I do teach a program for children between the ages of 8 and 17. And one of that program is about emotional intelligence. And yes, you're not going to always have a win, right? And as council member, your residents are first. When you look at the city's org chart, the residents are the top. So I always say that they're the boss of the city. And so for me, if someone approaches me with an idea that that they feel that I should go for it with them, I'm going to do my due diligence, do the research. I'm going to ask questions and I'm going to listen. And through that, I'm not going to make a rushed decision. And I tell you, I'll use an example of just recently. I made a post on social media to one of our big community advocate, and she turned my question around and asked me that if elected, would I fire the city manager? And so that's a question right there that, you know what, okay, I'm for a candidate, I need the vote, but am I going to rush and answer you and say yes, because I may need a vote, I will do that. Or I am going to respond in a way that policy provides for you as a council member to behave or to handle these situations. And so those are the things that when you're on that council, you have to, yes, listen to what your residents are saying to you, but you also have to couple your decision with, what does policy allow you to do? What can it allow you to do? Can it allow you to do A, B, and C? And if it can't, then you now have to go back to that resident and help them to understand that, okay, I know you feel that this may be the best way to handle the situation, but here is how my hands are tied. There are policies that prevents me from doing A, B, and C. But we can all come to the table and see how we can meet halfway. And that's what I think, we have seen through some contested council meetings where our, council members, the residents may say something to them, and right away their emotions get flare up, and on the days they start, it's like a fight. We can't do that. We have to be able to know that we are there. We have to know that we are guided by policies, and we're guided by, always ask what is the goal and the objectives before you do your response and make decisions.
Thank you. My next question is, Miami Gardens continues to grow and attract new development. What is your vision for the city's future? What type of development do you support? And how would you balance economic growth with protecting the character of existing neighborhoods?
And so Miami Gardens is growing, but it should be at the benefit of our residents, right? I support our small businesses. One of the things that I want to do is do more workforce training. Our youth is our priority, right? They are the future of the city. And so while we have a large senior base in our community, I don't see that we have enough programs in place for our youth. And so I want to invest in our youth, because you invest in our youth, that is the future of economic development, right? Attracting businesses that is going to provide quality jobs. How do you do that? You work with our youth. You want to be able to have dual programs that they, while they're in high school or middle school, that they can enter into the workforce. So I would want to work with businesses and developers to see how we can bring them in to do some form of training or internship. So as they graduate from high school, they already know what it is that they want to do. One of the biggest thing that you see is the dual enrollment program that even Miami-Dade College have. The parents are, I was talking to a parent the other day, and she was so proud that by the time her child graduated high school, she already have credits that she, you know, when she goes into college, it makes it easier for her. Those are things that you want to do, is invest in our youth. Once you invest in your youth, then you can invest into the economic part of it. And another area is definitely our small business. Provide grants and funding. I heard Christine talk about earlier, which that's a relationship that I would definitely need to build with whoever is going to be representing us on the state level, to be able to identify funding to bring down into the city to where we can now support our businesses. The city right now, I believe, does not have a specific grant writer, from my understanding, and I may be wrong, but through my research, I was told that we don't have a grant writer. And so I want to be able to ensure that we have a specific department that focuses on grants. Because if you can identify grants, the state have money, the federal, even though the federal is all crazy right now, but there are grants out there. But when you have a dedicated department that can research on these funding to be able to apply for these grants, bring them into the city, then you can now help these small businesses that are thriving. A lot of times someone have the idea that they want to go in a small business, but they don't understand the full dynamics of how to stay in business. I want to be able to have workshops to where they can come into the city and learn what are the resources that are within the city that they can utilize, whether it's through helping them promote their businesses, whether it's helping them to apply for funding. Those are things that I want to do to establish a relationship with these small businesses, so now they can hire back our young folks that we are trying to invest in, and that is what's going to help our long-term economic development in the city.
Thank you for breaking that down. And I think more specifically, the question that, I was asking was more about, you touched on the economic growth, but more so like development as far as like, what type of building, from like hotels or more commercial or more residential, like from that perspective, like what would you support?
What I want to see definitely is hotels. We currently don't have any heads in beds, and tourism, that's where a lot of the funding comes in. You see where when these events are happening at the stadium, they're busing in residents, or they're busing in the tourists from other areas of the county. And so we're not benefiting from any hotels and heads in beds. And so I would definitely want to work to ensure, I know we have plans in place of bringing in a hotel. I would definitely want to ensure that those plans go through, because when you have hotels in your city, you now have tourism where you can go out and attract other cities, not only other cities, but other countries, and promote those tourism to come into your cities. When these large events are happening, you now can benefit from that, from those hotel heads and beds. And so because we don't have that, we're losing out on a lot of money from that. And that will be one of my top priority going in office.
Thank you. My next question is, every campaign needs a strategy. What do you believe is your pathway to victory in this election? What communities, ideas, or messages do you believe will resonate most with voters?
So I tell you, I ran before, and one of my disadvantage that I had at the time was I filed like weeks before the deadline. This time I filed some months before the deadline. And what that has done is it gave me an opportunity to go into the communities. I've been knocking on doors, meeting with the residents, hearing directly from them what it is, what are their biggest issues. And so my strategy is has been since last year, because I've been out there on the campaign trail. I've been attending the meetings. I've been attending the Crime Watch meetings. I have been attending council meetings. I have been knocking on doors. And so these are things that every candidate needs. Yes, the funding is a big priority because money helps you to get to the voters, but the voters are the biggest decision makers. And so when you establish your relationship with these voters, the funding helps, but the voters are the ones they get to see you, they get to talk to you. For example, I was in a community last week, and as the lady came out her car, her and I was talking, and she said to me, you know, I'm just coming from the hospital visiting my sister. My sister just had a stroke. And so right there now, that her and I, and she happened to be from the Bahamas, and so her and I now strike up a conversation. We start talking about being a caregiver, because she was the caregiver of her mother, and I'm also the caregiver of my mother. And so I was now able to, you know, talk about, well, are you getting this type of services? Are you tapped into this type of resources to be able to help you? And those are the relationship that I believe as a candidate, when you're out there, that is your pathway, because now the voters are not just receiving a pamphlet in the mail to say, vote for me. They're actually seeing you, the candidate, and hearing directly from you, touching and feeling the personality that you will bring to City Hall. And for me, that is the pathway to victory, is touching the voters, letting them see who you are and earn their trust, and let them know that you will serve on pure transparency.
Thank you for answering that, because that was a question in the it tied to a question that was in the chat from one of the viewers. So I'm glad you touched on like what you've been doing and, you know, what you're doing when you're not running for office. And also too, just a similar question that I have for Christine, because, you know, I keep my ear to the street now, and the people are like, you know, you ran a couple of times and, you know, you haven't, you know, reached success yet with, you know, winning office. So what do you say to people who are like, well, you run a couple of times, you have not had success, you know, you may not have the experience to be able to run, or, you know, what's going on? Why hasn't, you know, she won a race? So what do you say to people who have that criticism of you, because you ran a couple of times?
So I ran a couple of times, but what you have to understand, the couple of times I ran for mayor, which was citywide. Meaning that I had to touch over 160,000 people, 130,000 people in the city. Now I'm running in a specific district. And in this district, you have about 13,000 voters. When you look at the numbers, you're looking at about maybe 3,000 to 4,000 people that comes out and vote. But the key thing is, after I ran before, I never stopped working. I never stopped working for the people. I continue to work for the people. And so for me, it is not even about a seat, right? It is about me helping and being there for the people. So yes, I ran before and I didn't win, which covered a broader base. And at that time too, it was an incumbent. This time it's an open seat. So the odds are definitely in favor for me this time, running for a smaller area. It is an open seat. My experience that I bring to the table, has given me, since I started campaigning from last year, it has given me time to explain and meet with the voters. I have been knocking on doors. I didn't have that luxury the last time that I ran because I filed so short. And as you know, in a campaign, everything is moving so fast. You have interviews that you got to do. You have questionnaires that you need to fill out, all these things. But by doing it with more time in advance. In addition, I now have the support of so many of the community organizations, right? Because they see that I've been there with them. I've been attending their meetings. And so one of the things, I got a call from someone this past weekend, and he said he went to a resident to say, hey, I want you to vote for my candidate, Lavern Deer. And he started telling him about me. And he said, you don't have to tell me about her. I've already done my research. I went on her website. I see everything that I need to see about her. Another example, I went knocking on a door 2 weekends ago, and the first door that I knock on, I introduce myself, and then I start saying that, hey, I'm a candidate and I have 15 years. And he said, yes, you're a home, you take care of your mother. And I'm like, he said, yeah, I just, my ballot is here. I'm just filling out the ballot, and I was on the website looking you up. And to me, that is so key, because what you have now is you have informed voters that are researching on the candidates. So they're not just going by, looking at all the mailers that are coming in the mail. They're making those informed decisions. And the good thing is, again, I am knocking on doors and people are seeing me face to face. So when they see me, they have my website. And then now it just makes it like, oh, okay, yes, now I get a chance to see who you are. And that's my pathway to victory. So watch out.
Lavern, it's been an amazing conversation with you. As we're wrapping, my last question for you is, why should the people of Miami Gardens in District 2 trust you with their vote? In 1 or 2 minutes, make your case directly to the voters watching tonight.
So listen, Miami Gardens, I have been there with you, right? I am an individual who I call myself an advocate. I am not a politician. I am an advocate. I have been fighting. I've traveled to DC. I've traveled to Tallahassee, and I have been fighting for issues that affects our community. I am not running, right, because I want a seat in City Hall. I am running because I believe residential area C2 needs leadership that will listen, be responsive, right, and produce results. I have done that. I have been producing results. You had a neighbor who was having a light pole falling down in their yard. I went there, I saw what the issue is, and immediately I did not wait. I went, I called FP&L, and I got that light post fixed, preventing the danger of a fire in that home. And so I wasn't in office to do that. And so now I am only taking it one step further by asking for your vote to be an elected official, because now I am going to seek to serve you through policies. But when it comes to working for you and doing the work for you, I have been showing up to City Hall. I have been speaking at the council meetings. I have been attending the Crime Watch meetings. I have been speaking and giving my input. And so I have already been doing the work. Now I am asking you for the opportunity to help me to get into City Hall, where this time I can help now to provide the oversight that you seek. I can now help to review ordinances that have been in place that may not even suit the current demographic that we serve. That experience that I bring through my professional career of writing and creating policies, I can now bring that into City Hall. And so I humbly ask for your vote. My name is Lavern Deer. On the ballot, it is Lavern V. Deer, and my ballot number is 160. And I just want to reassure you that whether I win or not, I will continue to work for you, because that's just who I am. I am not one who is going to run and disappear. I didn't do it before, and I won't do it again. But this time, because of the hard work that I have been putting in, I am confident that come August 18, I will be your next council member.
All right, now, come on now. Let's put some fire in the chat, some applause in the chat. Thank you, Lavern, for making your case to the audience tonight and the voters in Miami Gardens. Look, before I let you go, give us your website, your, social media, how people could donate, connect, volunteer, all the things to learn more about you.
So the first thing I want to do is send a kudos to my team. I have an amazing team who have been walking with me in this hot sun. And, the times when I feel like I can't go any further, they keep propping me up. So I want to give kudos to my team. So my website is laverndeer.com. Again, it's my name, laverndeer.com. And you can Google my name and you'll see all the great work that I've been doing, both local and international. And you can also donate at my website, again, laverndeer.com. Follow me on all social media. My name again is laverndeer.com. I make it very easy and simple for you. So please, again, laverndeer.com. Lavern V Deer on the ballot. Number 160. My name is the first name that will be on your ballot. And so I ask for your support. I ask for your vote. I ask for your time. And you also, if you can't give money and you want to donate lunch come August 3rd during early voting, hey, I'll take lunch from my workers too. That will also help. Janae, you have been amazing. Thank you so much for all the work that you are doing, because we had such low voters turnout in the last few elections. And one of the things that I noticed this go around is the excitement that both you and a couple other bloggers that I see are doing to raise awareness, to get the people excited, because this election is too important for us to sit home. And you guys are doing a great job, and kudos to you for doing that.
Thank you, Lavern. I appreciate that, and definitely want to give you your kudos. Over the years when you ran for office and just different things you've done in the community, you definitely let Hilo News know so we can amplify it. So I appreciate you for supporting Black-owned local media. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, and thank you to your audience. Thank you for staying up at it's after 9.
Yes, yes. No,
And
well,
you're
we
still
made
with
it.
us.
We made it. Look. See, as the last person, you squeeze a little bit more time out as some of the other candidates. But I
And so,
appreciate
hey,
you.
I'm here. If you have any other questions, or feel free to go to my website. Actually, you can call this number 786-685-0843. And you can, reach out to me there as well. So you don't just have to go to the website. You can also call. And I hang out with you for a little bit more if you need to, Janae.
Okay, I mean, if some questions come through in the chat, we can definitely take those. But I appreciate you for coming on, Lavern. Again, guys, this is her website. I'll put it back on the screen for you, laverndeer.com. Thank you for coming on our special edition candidate interview episodes. We're trying to interview as many people as possible to be able to tell their story in a long form content, because sometimes you may not be able to get on, the mainstream media, but here's the thing, Hilo News is going places. So the way we've been
Yes,
tapped in to get a Hilo News interview is just as valuable as other platforms as well. So I appreciate you for seeing the value in our
absolutely.
platform. Thank you so much, Lavern, for coming on the show tonight. Thank you for your patience tonight. The show ran a little bit longer, but I appreciate you for holding on and taking your time, because I know the campaign trail is very, very busy. But thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, girlfriend. Good night. Y'all, this is an amazing. First of all, the candidates brought it tonight. I could tell they watch Hilo News. They was ready. They was like, if they come in here, I'm gonna get them. But you know what? The people, they value Hilo News. They come on. They tell their story. They're very prepared, and so I appreciate the seriousness and the respect that they have for the platform. I see y'all in the chat. Thank y'all for hanging out with us tonight. So, this is our special edition podcast where we are doing candidate interviews. We're going to be posting these interviews on our website as well, and in our email newsletter and on our social media. So all the things, please like and share. That helps us with the algorithm as well, so that people can see us and we can get more viewers and hopefully get to the monetization. Not hopefully, we'll get to monetization. So yeah, help us make sure we have all the likes, all the things, comment, like, subscribe, so that we can get to our monetization levels. And again, thank you. That's right, Auntie. Best wishes to all the candidates. God bless to everybody, and may the best person win. We seem like we got a lot of qualified people who are ready to do the job. So it looks like, the future seems to be in really, really good hands. I wanted to be a little bit messy tonight. I was trying to see if Tangela Sears was in the chat, because I got sent something earlier. But if she ain't here, I'm going to just keep it to myself. And we'll say that for the Thursday show. We'll say that to the Thursday show, okay? Because the way y'all been beating certain people back in is just not even funny no more. I don't even know what y'all got going on. Oh, also too, if you missed our interview with congressional candidate for District 24, Oliver Gilbert, we did a interview with him on That Part podcast. You could catch the replay on that. It was really, really good. He was very candid, stayed on with us, answered all the questions, took answers live from the chat. as well. So y'all go check that out. And me and Papa Keith are back on tomorrow doing another live interview with some more congressional candidates from District 20. And then Thursday, I'm back again with, I think, school board District 1 candidate Katrina Wilson. I think she's coming on with me Thursday. So at this point, I'm just trying to keep up with it. But we doing all the things and making sure you guys are definitely informed. I appreciate y'all for hanging out with us and learning from the candidates. And I'm going to plug my event one last time because the people come on here getting their information out. I got to get my information out. So Dade County pull up July 29th from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. at Co-Space in Miami Gardens. We're having politics and chill. We're going to be talking about the candidates and the races and what we want to see in our future. Light refreshments, drinks, music, and a live discussion. And the special guest is going to be joining us. You know what? I'm going to just say it. Papa Keith going to be joining us. We're going to turn this into a That Part podcast. Can we talk? Collabo. So we gonna be in there. He gonna join us. So we gonna have a real good time. So y'all make sure y'all RSVP on Eventbrite. If you follow me on social media, my personal page, we have dropped those links, but I'll be doing a more official post so y'all can get all the things. But y'all make sure y'all pull up. This is the Dade event, and in Broward, we're doing it on August 4th from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. at We Shuckin' Restaurant. Shout out to our sponsors, We Shuckin' and Co-Space for allowing us to use their spaces. Like I said, we're going to be having this vibe. We're going to be talking about Dade County stuff in Dade County. We're going to be talking about Broward County stuff in Broward County. And we have a Palm Beach County event pending as well because we're trying to see all the girls in the Tri-County area. But it's going to be good. We're going to be trying to do this every political season, politics and chill, where we get to talk, chill, and talk about politics in a safe space. Elected officials, not saying y'all not invited, but we want to keep it we want to keep the conversations candid and safe so that people can feel free and comfortable to talk. Okay. So y'all pull up, y'all share that with y'all community. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. And let me see what y'all saying in the comments. Awesome show, great interviews. God bless all the candidates and best wishes to all of them. Thank you. And what my journalism sister Andrea said, Janae, you're doing God's work. Thank you. Look, I hope God have something for me because the way I'm so tired and I'm in the middle of applying for the Press Forward South Florida journalism grant. So I'm going to be up all night, up early again and back at it. But to me, it is important to do this work. So I appreciate y'all for sharing it with y'all network. I see the shares after the fact. So I know people are watching it and I hope they're finding valuable information and getting it here directly from the candidates, So I appreciate y'all for that. I'm trying to think, is there any other housekeeping stuff that we got to do? Oh, also, y'all see the candidate ads? Y'all see the county ads and other small business ads? Advertise with Hilo News. Advertise with That Part Podcast. Get your business and your information in front of an active, engaged audience. Our rates are super affordable. So if you want to learn more, DM me or email me at janae@hilonews.com. I will get the rates to you if you want to advertise with us. Advertising with us also too allows us to support this growing platform, local independent journalism, local news, local media. So if you want to advertise with us, reach our audience and support a great cause in a worthy cause, pull up and let us know. Slide in my DMs or email me so you can have your business featured alongside our quality content. So without further ado, we about to pay some bills before we get out of here. Y'all support those who support us. Y'all stay on and watch it. Like, subscribe, comment, see what they got to say. And I'll see y'all tomorrow on That Part Podcast. And I'll see y'all Thursday where we're going to be cutting up for real, talking about the political tea and have another candidate interview. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. This has been another amazing show, the Can We Talk Podcast. And I will see y'all next time. Good night.
Every drop has a purpose. It nurtures more than just our gardens. Protect what connects us. Conserve what sustains us. Because water is life.
Hi, I'm Katrina Wilson, and I am running for school board member, District 1. I've been a lifelong educator for more than 30 years, and I have served in Miami-Dade County Public Schools for almost 40 years. I think that I have a depth of knowledge about education and an experience. Education is the gateway to the future. I think it allows you to dream.
What does Miami Gardens mean to me? Home. Miami Gardens is home. I remember riding on the back of dirt bikes where Joe Robbie Stadium is and just watching the growth and the maturation and the glow up, if you will, of the city. It makes me proud to be a son of the city, and it makes me proud that I was able to raise my sons in the city, and then my sons can come back and raise their sons in the city. That's why I'm running. I'm not running for me right now. I'm running for the next generation and putting policies and institutional pieces within our city that will be there long after my term is over, long after my life is over, and I'll continue to serve the people of Miami Gardens and pour back into the same community that made me, that built me, that made me who I am. That's what Miami Gardens means to me. Home.
Hi,